Thing that I did, I was finding stuff that looked right to me. The fans now know exactly what it was. I was able to say what I put together from the fans, from their own kind of research.
And what do you got? What do you got in that box over there? Is that a lightsaber? What is that?
Well, the Graphics themselves, yeah, when you're talking about what it was, this is the Graphics company. They took the original and they made 10. So that's exactly Luke's. And so that you can see.
All this time we've been talking, you had that sitting right next to you?
Yeah. Well, I knew you'd get excited, so.
Can I have it?
Yes, you can hold it.
I'll hold it. Let's see what we got.
So that's literally the flash handle.
And is this as close to the original?
That's exactly
as you can possibly get. So this is what it felt like. This is what
exactly. It's weighty. It had batteries inside to power the units. There's no difference to that than the original.
Now
they made 10 of them, and so I got one of them.
Now is that your assistant over there?
Huh?
Is that your assistant over there?
Yeah.
Oh, you knew what I was going to do. Very clever. I was gonna sneak it away. But so I can't tell. Do we have any questions from the audience? I can't see anything out there.
Like your short film with Empire Strikes Back, is it called Black Knight or something? It's a wonderful short film.
Thank you, Black Angel.
Black Angel, yeah.
Yeah, I decided to stop once I'd done Star Wars and Alien, and I thought, you know what, and I'd seen other people fail, and I thought, I've got to stop and do it. So I wrote what I love, which was a King Arthur story, and I was trying to be Kurosawa. And George hated the short film, because in those days there's no commercials, no ads, no trailers. They had a program which was a 25 to 30 minute short film and the main film. And Fox put some story about policemen going on holiday with Star Wars, and George got really upset and said, "You're antagonizing my audience, it doesn't fit." And there was a grant from the British government for first-time filmmakers of £25,000 if a producer would guarantee it would go out with the main film. I didn't know any of this. I'd written it. I was at film school trying to get it made, and broke completely. And by chance, I went to watch the sound mix of Alien because it was the world's best in England where it was being done, and the head of Fox was there. Asked me what I was doing. I said I'd written it. He said, "Do you mind if I send it to George?" So he read it, and I said, "No, I don't mind." I mean, there was nothing to do with me. It wasn't a link. And George chose it to be made and said, in his usual way, "Just let Roger go and make it, let him have the money." And it really wasn't enough money to make it, but I did the same thing. They gave me bits of film left over on Empire, and I filmed it in Scotland because I'd never seen Scotland shot ever. It's such a mystical beauty, this especially in the Highlands and everything. So I did that the same that Kurosawa, who really was a huge influence on George. He always used Mount Fuji. I used Scotland to tell the story. And it went out with Empire, and I got so many letters from people, and then the negative got lost. George's went missing, mine went missing, there was none left, and then it got found in Universal Studios about 15 years ago. And I was offered by a company who restored Star Wars because they'd read about it. What happened was, when John Borman made Excalibur, he took my short film and showed the whole crew before he made it and said, "This is what I want." I was joking because I said, I had 9 people on my crew. You're going to have 100 people. You can't do what I did. But and then George liked it. It literally had to make a 25-minute film. I didn't have all the minutes. And the editor said, "There's a way of step printing where you slow the film down." And because I didn't have fighter ranges, my fight was really simple. He showed me, and it made the fight look really way better. George liked it so much that he step printed the Yoda fight in Empire. He went back and redid it based on that. So now, I think, 40 years later, I'm in the process of putting together the feature film, which will be Black Angel, but the original story that actually was set in the deserts before I went in the Scotland part of it. And that's why I do all of this, because I'm having to keep alive while I'm trying to get an independent film put together. And these days it's very hard to get film finance for anything. So that's the story of Black Angel.
That's a great question. Law and Order, do we have any more out there from the audience?
Let's see if we have any questions.
They're shy during the first
They're
half.
shy, it's early in the day, that's okay. We're getting close, so if you need a...
Your mic is, yeah, whatever. Okay. I'll just get one final question. We forgot to bring up, of course, you also worked on the prequel trilogy.
Which one?
The prequel trilogy, so Phantom Menace. And
Yes.
So
I was, then George asked me, when he was doing Phantom Menace, again, it was still out to all the studios, said, could you budget the script, because we may have to work in America. 400 million was each budget, so they're very tightly made. They asked me to go and see them and what they were doing, and then I kind of said, because I love that world, I said, what are you doing about second unit? And Rick McCallum said, oh, we don't need one this time, we'll do it all ourselves. And I thought, you're in denial.
yeah, I was going to say, how's that possible?
And they'd allowed only 12 weeks to shoot, because George doesn't that much like shooting, and he had to get back because of the effects to really push all that side of it. And then I just said to Rick, put my name down in case. I got the call and said, could you run up here to Leavesden? And I ran up there and they said, were you serious? And I said, yeah, I'm very serious, it's Star Wars, you know. And so they gave me 5 minutes to decide if I would do it or not. And I had other stuff to do, but I managed to quickly arrange it there and then. And they said, fine, come with us. And I already had an assistant and an office, and it was all set up. In the first meeting, I walked straight into it. I then understood it was the Senate, and they didn't have enough time for the first unit to shoot the Senate with the scenes that they had to do up front with the actors. So I had to shoot all of that. And this happened about 5 or 6 times, that we were the first unit in. And again, just my crew one day, this is another auspicious moment, I said, guys, today, I don't know if you understand what we're going to do. And I got to shoot the meeting between stripped down C-3POs, Anakin made him, and R2-D2.
Okay, in Anakin's room.
So, and that line, which is, you hear the beeps and then C-3PO says, what do you mean naked? Carrie Fisher wrote that line.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, any other scenes that you filmed in the Phantom Menace?
I shot half. I shot so much of Darth Maul's fights with you, and
That's what I was good. That's what I was
it
good.
was just like, I was in heaven, you can imagine. I mean, just doing stuff like that. We did a lot. I shot with Natalie Portman. I shot with Liam Neeson. All of them. And literally, George said afterwards, he said, really, you shot half the film for me. One moment that right out in the desert, there's the moment where Darth Maul, there was a fight, they cut, but he actually leapt off when he's fighting Qui-Gon, and he has to leap off the landing platform and stick it in the desert, and it's an epic shot. There's the sunset behind. I had to do that shot, and there was a huge fight erupted because Annie Leibovitz was there wanting to shoot that for the cover of Vanity Fair. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm sorry, we're making the movie, I've got to take precedence, but I said, I will do a deal with you, because Ray Park was phenomenal. And he wasn't the stunt man, he was Darth Maul, but he did stunts that the other professionals couldn't do.
Yeah,
He said, I'll get it all set up. We had a big platform built for him to leap down and everything, and I said, he'll stick it in one. I'll do one take. You can have it then, and you'll get the sunset, and that's what we did. I had that much faith in Ray Park. He was extraordinary.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. I've seen him do his thing live. Even now, in his late 40s, he's still in really good shape.
Yeah, he's I think his third, Dan's stick fighting champion, all sorts of champions. But some of the stunt stuff I had him do, and there was one they had to do a huge leap over the canyon. The other stunt boys couldn't do it. They were landing in the boxes. So I went to George and said, do you want me to cut the scene and do it in 2 takes? He said, no, leave it. I'll take Ray to the Skywalker and I'll sim the other characters and I'll do it with them afterwards with Ray. He was that good.
No, he's great. But well, I want to thank you for coming here.
No,
for our
so
first
thank you.
inaugural
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Wrong Cover. You're going to be here for the remainder of the weekend in the autograph hall. So make sure you guys come by and see him. Look, he's got a lightsaber in his hand. We got some lightsaber fans.
Yeah, I'm here, yes.
But
I'm not moving.
as always, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and you, yeah. Thanks, everybody.
And we'll get this
Thank you.
microphone fixed out of it.